All right, let's jump into another deep dive. This time, we're heading over to Hong Kong. We're going to be checking out the Happy Valley Service Departments. And we've got the promotional material, and yeah, it's all glossy and, promising a dream lifestyle. But, we're here to like really see what's behind all those claims.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactic, isn't it? They're really selling an experience, not just four walls and a roof.
Right, right. And they start out strong, don't they? Highlighting their location in Happy Valley, specifically mentioning the Happy Valley Racecourse and the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
Hmm.
And, which definitely creates a sense of prestige, but I was wondering, wouldn't living next to a race course be a bit noisy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Um, However, they do try to address that
Yeah.
by emphasizing that it's also a peaceful retreat.
Okay.
So they seem to be suggesting that you can have both.
Mm-hmm.
The excitement of the races and then retreat to a quiet haven when you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they achieve that balance in reality is something that you, as a potential resident, would want to look into.
Yeah.
Maybe they got incredible soundproofing, or maybe the apartments are positioned just so to minimize the noise.
Okay.
It's hard to know
Yeah.
from just the marketing material.
Right. Okay. So maybe they've thought of that. But let's talk about the apartments themselves.
Okay.
They talk about elegant interiors, high ceilings, large windows, lots of natural light. Are we talking like luxury penthouse suites here?
Not necessarily. I mean, while they're definitely playing up the luxury angle,
Yeah.
they also mention that there are various unit sizes to cater to different needs.
Mm-hmm.
So, studios, multi-bedroom apartments, and everything in between,
Right.
suggesting that they're trying to attract a wider range of residents, not just, the ultra-wealthy.
Okay. So, professionals, families, maybe even someone on like a temporary work assignment in Hong Kong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're casting a wide net.
Yeah, and to reel them in, they've got this whole list of amenities. A 247 fitness center, relaxing outdoor spaces, high-speed internet. It's like they're ticking all the boxes for modern living.
Yeah, but you have to remember that those are pretty standard these days for high-end service departments.
Okay.
It's about offering convenience, and a certain quality of life. But I'd be curious to know more about the specifics.
Okay.
For instance, what kind of equipment does the fitness center have? Is it always crowded?
Right?
And those relaxing outdoor spaces?
Yeah.
Are we talking a rooftop garden with stunning views?
Mm-hmm.
Or just like a small, enclosed courtyard?
Mm-hmm.
The devil is in the details, as they say.
I see, yeah. It's easy to get swept up in the marketing buzzwords. But
Ah.
let's move on to something that caught my eye, which is this. Their emphasis on personalized services.
Okay.
What does that actually mean? I mean, are we talking butler service?
Well, it's a bit vague, isn't it? I mean, they mention things like housekeeping and concierge services, but without really going into specifics.
Yeah.
So perhaps it means they'll tailor their services to individual needs, like maybe they'll stock your fridge with your favorite snacks or arrange for a personal trainer. Who knows?
Right.
It's definitely something that, as a potential resident, you should inquire about if if personalized attention is something that's important to you.
Yeah, all these luxurious features raise a question for me.
Okay.
How environmentally friendly is V Happy Valley? Because they do highlight their commitment to sustainability.
Yeah, they do. They talk about energy-efficient appliances, recycling programs, composting facilities, and green building certifications.
Mm-hmm.
But you always have to wonder, are they walking the walk or just talking the talk?
Right. So we need to dig deeper into those claims. They mention energy efficient appliances and smart thermostats, but what kind of energy savings are we talking about?
That's a great question. A savvy consumer would want to ask about the specific appliances they use, their energy consumption ratings, and even the overall building's energy performance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have data on how much energy residents typically save compared to those living in a similar, non-green building.
And what about their green building certifications?
Yeah.
They mentioned holding several, but they don't specify which ones.
Right.
Why is that important?
Well, because different certifications have different criteria and levels of stringency.
Okay.
For example, you've got LEE certification, which is internationally recognized. It evaluates buildings based on various factors, like energy efficiency, water conservation, indoor environmental quality, and sustainable site development.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Beam Plus, which is popular here in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And it focuses on similar aspects of sustainability. So knowing which certifications they hold can give you a more tangible sense of their commitment to environmental responsibility.
So it's more than just saying we're green. There's
Exactly.
actual third-party verification involved.
Right. And for you, that verification might offer a level of assurance that aligns with your personal values.
Okay, so we've touched on location, the apartments themselves, their luxurious amenities, and their approach to sustainability. What stands out to you the most so far?
Hmm. What I find interesting is how they're attempting to appeal to such a broad audience.
Okay.
They're highlighting the luxury and convenience, for those who are seeking a premium lifestyle. But at the same time, they're emphasizing sustainability, which might attract a more, environmentally conscious crowd.
It's a clever strategy, but does it work? We'll continue to unpack that in the next part of our deep dive. I was thinking about these amenities, and they made that 247 Fitness Center sound so appealing. Imagine, like, you could squeeze in a workout at 3 a.m. before, like, a big meeting,
Hmm.
in your business suit, of course.
Well, while the round-the-clock access might seem attractive at first, I think there are some practical questions to consider.
Okay.
Like, wouldn't a gym at that hour be a bit eerie?
Yeah.
And what about safety and staffing?
Hmm.
It's probably worth asking if they have security personnel on site overnight.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they've got, like, a night owl personal trainer on call. You never know.
Could be.
But speaking of appealing, V Happy Valley really plays up the surrounding neighborhood. They mention everything from local eateries and like chic restaurants to boutiques, street markets, cultural sites, parks. It's like they've like curated the perfect neighborhood experience.
Well, yeah, it's all about selling a lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's important for you is to consider what aspects of that lifestyle genuinely appeal to you.
Right.
Are you a foodie who would thrive in a diverse culinary scene?
Mm-hmm.
Or perhaps you're a history buff who'd love exploring the neighborhood's cultural sites.
Yeah.
It's about finding the right fit for your interests.
You're right. It's easy to get swept away by the glossy marketing, but ultimately it's about what matters to you as an individual.
Exactly.
Now let's circle back to sustainability for a minute.
Okay.
They talk about recycling programs, which are pretty standard these days. But they also mention composting facilities.
Right.
That's not something you see everywhere.
No, composting is definitely a step beyond the basics. It
Mhm.
shows a real commitment to reducing waste
Mm-hmm.
and potentially even using that compost to enhance their landscaping.
Okay.
I think it would be interesting to know how they manage their composting program, and whether residents are actually encouraged to participate.
Yeah. And then there are those green building certifications,
Right.
which we touched on earlier. They say they hold several, but don't specify which ones. Why is that important?
Well, because different certifications have different criteria and levels of stringency, right?
Okay.
So, for example, you've got LED certification, which is internationally recognized.
Mm.
It evaluates buildings based on various factors, like energy efficiency, water conservation, indoor environmental quality, and sustainable site development.
Okay.
There's also Beam Plus, which is very popular here in Hong Kong,
Mm.
and it focuses on similar aspects of sustainability. But the point is, knowing which certifications they hold can give you a more tangible sense of their commitment to environmental responsibility.
So it's more than just saying we're green.
Right, exactly.
There's actual third-party verification involved.
Yeah, and for you, that verification might offer a level of assurance,
Right.
that aligns with your personal values.
Okay, so we've dissected those luxurious amenities.
Mm-hmm.
We've explored the neighborhood's attractions,
Mm-hmm.
and we've delved a bit deeper into their sustainability claims. What's your take on their overall marketing approach?
I think they're doing a decent job of balancing the practical with the aspirational.
Okay.
They're appealing to your desire for comfort and convenience and, a certain lifestyle,
Hmm.
while also highlighting things like sustainability, which, might resonate with a more discerning audience.
They're trying to create that best of both worlds scenario. You get the luxury, but you also get that peace of mind knowing you're also making, a responsible choice.
Precisely.
Hmm.
But as with any marketing material, I think it's crucial for you to, read between the lines, do your own research, and ask the right questions.
Yeah, because what might be a dream lifestyle for one person could be a complete mismatch for another. It's all about finding the right fit for your, individual needs and priorities.
Absolutely. And that's something I think we should all keep in mind as we navigate this world of ever-evolving urban living options.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into V Happy Valley, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned and consider what it tells us about the changing landscape of urban living. We'll do that in the final part of our exploration. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into V Happy Valley service departments. From their prime location and, luxurious amenities to their sustainability efforts and their attempts to cultivate this vibrant community, they've certainly painted an attractive picture, haven't they? But what does it all tell us about the bigger picture of urban living?
Yeah, I think what strikes me is how V Happy Valley reflects this broader shift in how people are approaching city living these days. There's this growing movement away from traditional home ownership towards more flexible and mobile lifestyles.
Okay.
And service departments like this, they cater to that trend
Right.
by offering a blend of comfort, convenience, and a sense of belonging, but without the long-term commitment of, actually buying a property.
So it's like a hybrid between a hotel and a traditional apartment.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get the services and amenities of a hotel, but also the space and privacy of a home.
Exactly. And that appeals to a wide range of people. You've got business travelers who just need a temporary base,
Mm-hmm.
expats on short-term assignments, maybe even digital nomads, who prioritize flexibility and location independence.
It makes sense, especially in a city like Hong Kong where property prices are so high. Service departments like this provide a more accessible way to experience a certain lifestyle, a certain level of luxury, without the burden of like a hefty mortgage.
And it taps into this growing desire for experiences rather than possessions.
Right.
It's not just about owning a place anymore. It's about immersing yourself in a vibrant community, enjoying those convenient amenities, and having access to a range of experiences right on your doorstep.
So it's about more than just bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
It's about lifestyle, convenience, a sense of belonging. The Happy Valley seems to understand that
Mm-hmm.
and has really crafted their marketing to appeal to those aspirations.
Yeah, they've certainly done their homework.
Right.
But as we've discussed, throughout this deep dive, it's important to look beyond the glossy marketing, and consider what truly matters to you.
Yeah.
Does their vision of urban living align with your values and priorities?
It's all about finding the right fit. And that brings us to a final thought for you to ponder as we wrap up today. Considering this prime location, those luxurious amenities, and the overall lifestyle that V Happy Valley promotes, how do you think this type of accommodation might shape the future of urban development, not just in Hong Kong, but in other global cities as well? It's a question worth reflecting on as you explore, different ways of living and experiencing urban life. Until next time, happy diving.